So today we're going to talk about preparing for IVF with a surrogate. So let's start by clarifying what IVF and surrogacy entail. IVF is in vitro fertilization. We create embryos using your eggs or an egg donor and your partner's sperm or a sperm donor. And then we're intending to implant them into a surrogate who's a gestational carrier. She carries the pregnancy for you, but she doesn't provide any eggs or biological material to the pregnancy, but she's really important to get a healthy pregnancy and a healthy outcome. So the surrogate can be a person you know, who's a friend or a family member. Ideally, she has at least one child. We can also find you a surrogate through a surrogacy agency, and they'll help you look at different surrogates, but we'll help with the medical aspects, making sure the surrogate is a suitable choice for you and your family. There's always a legal agreement involved in surrogacy, and we'll help to coordinate that and make sure it's in place before we start the actual treatment. So we do testing for both the intended parents, including testing for infectious disease testing. A psychology consult is highly recommended. We also do screening for the surrogate. We make sure that she's healthy to carry a pregnancy. So she should be normal weight, she should be a non-smoker, she shouldn't have any contraindication to having more pregnancies, such as too many C-sections. We make sure her uterus is healthy, so we check her for fibroids and polyps and conditions that may affect the pregnancy. So the intended mother or egg donor will go through medications, including injections, to make multiple eggs. We do an egg collection procedure where we collect the eggs and fertilize them with sperm from the sperm source. And then we create embryos and do genetic testing on the embryos to make sure they don't have chromosomal problems like Down syndrome. We can also test for single gene disorders if that's needed. And then we freeze the embryos. Once the embryos are frozen and they've passed genetic testing, we'll prepare the surrogate for pregnancy. So she'll typically take some birth control to prevent her from ovulating on her own. Then we give her estrogen, either injections or by mouth, for about 2 weeks to make the lining of the uterus thick. And then she goes on progesterone injections to get her ready for implantation. 5 days into the progesterone injections is typically when we transfer the embryo. And you can be present in person for that, or you can be present by video call if you'd like to be. So emotional support is very important for the surrogacy journey. We always have you consult with a psychologist, and so does the surrogate ahead of time. And we always have those resources available if you have issues with it, where you need a little bit of extra support. So preparing for a surrogacy journey with IVF can be complex and a little bit emotional, but we'll guide you through this process and make it as smooth and as successful as we can.